Let's take a look.
A minute-by-minute dissection of what Donald Trump was doing and not doing as the riot overwhelmed the Capitol. With dramatic audio from Mike Pence's security detail, frantic and fearful that the mob was blocking their escape routes. Congressional correspondent Rachel Scott starts us off from Capitol Hill. Good morning, Rachel.
George, good morning. This was gripping new testimony, never before seen video. The January 6th Select Committee describing a White House in chaos as the Capitol came under attack. Lawmakers insisting for 187 minutes. Former President Donald Trump not only failed to act, but he chose not to.
This morning, the never before seen video of Donald Trump 24 hours after his supporters stormed the Capitol.
Whenever you're ready, sir.
The outtakes obtained by the January 6th committee
So
show
good.
a president who struggled to say the election was over and condemn the rioters.
To those who broke the law, you will pay. You do not represent our movement. You do not represent our country. And if you broke the law, you can't say that. I already said you will pay. But this election is now over. Congress has certified the results. I don't want to say the election's over. I just want to say Congress has certified the results without saying the election's over, okay?
Sources say it took an hour for Trump to record a nearly 3-minute-long video. His daughter Ivanka heard from behind the camera.
Just take it out.
My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote. My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote.
I can't believe they're making fun of him like this, bro. They were paywalling the rally. Now you have to download the app. Shut the fuck up. Are you serious?
At that point, there were so many people in there, but you know, Mike Lindell is such a he's such an entertainer, and he doesn't.
Oh my God, he fucking fell off, bro. This is his first rally in a long ass time. It's in fucking Arizona, and they only got 20,000 people watching on the right side broadcasting. What the fuck is happening, dude? That is not good. Okay, Michael Pillow. I hope he's there.
The committee zeroing in on the 187 minutes between Trump's speech urging his supporters to march to the Capitol.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol.
And this video finally telling them to go home.
So go home. We love you. You're very special.
Accusing the former president of a dereliction of duty, saying Trump knew within 15 minutes of leaving the stage that the Capitol was under attack, but instead sat in his dining room and watched the violence unfold on television.
If the president had wanted to make a statement.
What would he have done? What could he have done? You wouldn't let his fucking big, beautiful ass onto the goddamn, into the halls of Congress. Okay? You didn't let him do that. You should have let him do that. That is, I will never forgive the Secret Service, and I will never forgive Democrats. I don't even think Democrats were at fault for Trump not doing that, but I still blame them, okay? It is so incredibly fucked up that they did not let him go. God damn, dude.
And address the American people, he could have been on camera almost instantly.
His former White House counsel, Pat Cipollone, says he pleaded with him to intervene.
I think I was pretty clear there need to be
fucking pussy. Fuck you, dude. I'll never forgive you.
Immediate and forceful response statement, public statement that people need to leave the Capitol now.
But advisors say Trump resisted, not even making a single call to military or law enforcement officials.
I can't think of anybody, you know, on that day who didn't want people to get out of the Capitol once the, you know, particularly once the violence started. No. I mean,
what about the president?
Yeah.
she said the staff. So I answered.
No, I said in the White House.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought you said who else on the staff. I can't reveal communications, but obviously I think, you know, yeah.
Lawmakers say at the time the violence was getting out of hand, Trump sent out a tweet criticizing his own vice president for lacking courage. 2 Trump officials resigned immediately.
It was him pouring gasoline on the fire and making it much worse.
That was the moment that I decided that I was going to resign, that would be my last day at the White House.
Rioters chanted to hang the vice president. For the first time, the committee revealed distressing radio transmission from the Secret Service protecting Mike Pence.
If we lose any more time, we may lose the ability to leave. They are on the second floor, moving in now. We may want to consider getting out and leaving now.
One anonymous White House security official testified agents called to say goodbye to family members.
So dramatic.
The committee also highlighted.
But also, I'll just say this much. Okay, couple things I want to mention here. One, at the top of the hour, there's a 6-second ad break. Okay, so if you no longer want to see those ads, if you want an uninterrupted broadcast experience, all you need to do is subscribe. So let's get that out of the way. Okay? And you can subscribe for $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime, or by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, you get 1 free Prime subscription a month, or by getting gifted a sub. 2, or rather, the real one. Here's the ad break now, by the way. I go back and forth on like talking about the severity of this because like the way they describe the events that took place is like it's the most significant, most impactful thing that's ever happened, right? And in some ways it is. They do hype up the drama, like they are very dramatic about it. But also, on the one hand, what? January 6th was created by the Dems in an attempt to destroy the Republican Party, but it failed, and now we are stuck with this theater for months. Americans are over this shit. Wait, what? It was created by the Democrats? That's an awesome take. That's awesome. Hasan, the capitalist, socialist, Lamau. Yes, dude, totally. That's me. Yeah, capitalism. I love it. It's my favorite. I'm not going to click on a Rumble link. I'm going to be honest with you. If the rally is exclusively on Rumble, we have to find a fucking way to steal it off of Rumble and restream it, because you bet your fucking ass I'm not touching that goddamn website. Because they tried to overthrow democracy, you fuck. Yeah, dude, they totally did. No, they are overthrowing democracy, you fuck. They're just not doing it in a way that is like stupidly put together, like by stopping like one symbolic fucking vote certification process. No, they've already overthrown democracy. Where is the democracy, dumbass? The Senate is an undemocratic institution. It's built into the foundation of the Senate, the lack of democracy there. That's why a state like California has the same number of senators as despite being more populous than like 13 fucking states combined. Okay? The Electoral College makes it so that there is no direct democracy or democratic process in the general election in general. Okay? And within the House of Representatives, there is no democracy because that democratic process is undermined through gerrymandering and redistricting, the process known as redistricting. So there's no fucking democracy. There's no democracy in a country where 9 fucking geriatric pieces of shit that are in appointed lifetime positions can just decide that, like, yeah, you can't actually get the capitalist, socialist, LMFAO, don't make sense. Bro, I'm a capitalist, bro. Just say it. Yeah, I love capitalism. Who cares? Go ahead. What changed? Literally nothing. From my rhetoric, nothing changed. From the things that I'm saying and doing, nothing changed. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Who cares? Anyway. Motherfucker wrote it 3 times. He's like, he thinks this is like a major own. Who cares? Anyway, as I was stating, before I got derailed, there is no democracy in this country. Some would probably argue adequately that there never has been. Hasan is a capitalist. That's why it's not Hasan. What? Shut up, Weeby. Anyway, but also, the real way that they are further undermining the democratic process is through the state legislatures, okay? So what you need to comprehend in this circumstance is that, like, they're not stealing fucking or undermining democracy by, like, storming the halls of Congress or whatever. They're undermining democracy every fucking day with how our institutions are designed to yield the best possible outcomes for the bourgeois capital owning class. And they're literally stealing it by designing methods over the course of 20 years, 30 years, 40 years to slowly, completely erode whatever federal control that the Senate and the House of Representatives may have, and substituting that to favorable methods of control within the state legislature where they easily fucking win, even if they lose the actual election through gerrymandering. Okay? So that's where the real democracy is being taken away from you. America regularly is ruled by the minoritarian party. Okay? Our founders quite literally considered democracy to be bad. They called it the tyranny of majority. You get it? Don't come in here and be like, oh my God, they're undermining democracy, man. What the fuck? Look at Roe v. Wade. There's no better example of like a complete erosion of institutional control and a complete erosion of the trust that people had in this democratic process than a precedent that was considered to be a super precedent because 75% of Americans agreed with it since its inception, since the original decision, being cast aside by people who lied and said that they would never actually vote against it. You literally lost 3K viewers with the lesson on why America isn't democratic. Wrap it up, Grandpa. You're a 6-month subscriber. What's wrong with you? I was about to fucking yell at you. Here, take a week off, but like, brother, this is the meat. I do the fun stuff like the Andrew Tate debates and shit, so I can get some people to also maybe get a better understanding of American politics and how the world works. Do you see what I'm saying? This is what I do. This is what I do. What I do best. Holy shit, you're stupid as fuck. Leave your gated community one time, you fucking camel. My man said camel. He went back to like 1994 for like an outdated racist reference. That's awesome. That was pretty funny. So, ultimately though, this is educational content that I try to make as entertaining as possible. So, democracy has been stolen. What do we learn here? But one thing I will say about this, one thing I will say about the actual, the committee hearings, right? That I find to be good fucking content in general is the reality that on the one hand, these very same Republicans made fun of AOC for being afraid for her safety and her life during January 6th, when these people were trying to fucking kill Mike Pence and certainly trying to kill AOC as well. But also, motherfucking Josh Hawley. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you, and I don't know if they're going to talk about this in this fucking video. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Josh Hawley. Josh. Oh, Josh. Now, let me say something. Josh Hawley is in remarkable shape. And at first, I thought it was because, you know, he has a gay bod. Okay? That's what I thought originally. Foolishly. Well, I do still think he's in the closet. But no man from Missouri has pectorals like that. Okay? Unless they're, you know, slinging some dick on the side. Sorry, it's just the truth. Okay? Get mad at me all you want. Say I'm homophobic if you want to say that. But absolutely zero men in the state of Missouri, or he's Missouri, right? Yeah. No one in Missouri has that kind of body unless they're Tyler 1, in which case it's a little different. Okay? But no one in Missouri looks like that unless they're throwing it back. Okay? Now, at first, I thought that's the reason why he was, ripped. and kissed his wife the way that he does. Okay, now I have to fucking mention this as well. Hold on. He kisses his wife. Someone once said Josh Hawley kisses his wife like a K-drama. Like the way they kiss in K-dramas. And goddamn, dude, that shit is pretty funny. Hold on. Let me just show you this really quickly. Turns out the real reason why Josh Hawley is such a fucking athlete is because he needs to run that 40 away from the insurrectionists. Now, Josh, why are you running? Why are you running, Josh? It's not like they were there to kill you. They didn't say, let's kill Josh Hawley. Why are you running?
Think about
my man hit the dipset real quick. Why would he be running if it's not something to be afraid of? Now, the reason why I'm making fun of him running is because he shouldn't be afraid. They're not there to kill him. That's why Donald Trump wanted to be there. They're there to kill Mike Pence, Nancy Pelosi, definitely AOC, and all these other people. But you can't simultaneously make fun of AOC for being in fear of her life and safety and then be Josh Hawley. You know what I mean? You can't do that. So if Josh Hawley is also fearful of his life, then obviously, even though he's one of the main fucking organizers of the event regardless, then you should understand why AOC was afraid.
Highlighting the actions of Republicans. A call from leader Kevin McCarthy to Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner.
He told me he was getting really ugly over at the Capitol and said, please, anything you could do to help, I would appreciate it. And I got the sense that, they were scared.
And this photo of Senator Josh Hawley spotted raising his fist. A Capitol police officer told the committee that gesture riled up the crowd. Later, Hawley was seen fleeing for his safety as the mob broke in. In these newly released images, congressional leaders huddled together. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell on the phone with defense officials.
We need you to get the building cleared, give us the okay so we can go back in session and finish up the people's business as soon as possible.
Hours after the violence, Congress certified the election for President Joe Biden, and Trump walked back to the residence with one final comment.
As he was gathering his things in the dining room to leave, President Trump reflected on the day's events with a White House employee. President Trump said nothing to the employee about the attack. He said only, quote, "Mike Pence let me down."
Former President Donald Trump released a statement attacking Sarah Matthews, one of the witnesses. As for what comes next for the January 6th Select Committee, well, they announced there will be more hearings in September. Lawmakers say they have more work to do, George.
Not done yet. Rachel Scott, thanks very much. This has been our Chief Washington Correspondent, John Carl, Chief Legal Analyst, Dan Abramson. John, let me begin with you. It's really hard to imagine a more damning portrait of a president during a national security crisis.
Well, particularly what you just heard in Rachel's piece at the end there, that at the end of that day, the very last words that Donald Trump says before retiring for the night is he turns to his valet in the Oval Office and he says, "Mike Pence let me down." Even after all that—
That's so fucked up. Fake friend Mike Pence, dude. Fake fucking friend Mike Pence. How are you going to let our boy down? He gave you a shot. Made you his VP, even though you were a bit of a fucking loser. Messed up.
It had gone down.
The all free fit TYT shorts and Teddy Fresh shirt. Yeah, that's true.
He thought he was the victim.
Someone calculated his 40 time. Good morning. I calculated Josh Hawley's 40 time. Shut the fuck up. I know it's... On Thursday night during the primetime broadcast of the January 6th Commission, we only have a very short video of Hawley sprinting to go off, but in my source material is starting at After watching a clip of Hawley running over 100 times, I struggled to find a touchstone to accurately measure how much ground he covered. I mean, it's not like I have a blueprint of the Capitol building to know its dimensions. However, there is one critical piece of information in the photo that decodes this whole thing. The stand containing wet umbrella bags. With a discontinued burnished brass base, the people at TACO say their umbrella stand is perfect for museums, high-end hotels, retail stores, or office buildings. The Capitol is basically a museum and an office building rolled into one, so this seems ideal. He ran a 7.2 in the 40 at the Capitol building. This sounds atrocious, but there are several factors to consider. Hawley is in dress shoes on a tile floor, not on AstroTurf and spikes. Furthermore, it's unclear where in his stride he was when he crossed the hall. Maybe he was really winded before he got there. Most importantly, is Josh Hawley faster than Rich Eisen, who routinely runs the 40 in a suit at the Combine? Absolutely not. In 2022, Eisen ran the 40 in 6.16 seconds, and Eisen is 53 years old. Hawley's 42. Time to keep practicing that run, Josh. One day you might be faster than Rich Eisen. What is this? Oh, dude, I remember this one. It was so good. Outstanding afternoon. I've often said there's nothing better for the inside of a man than the outside of a horse. Country boys make do, baby. Hawley running to Kate Bush. Stop. You guys have never seen that? I forget that a lot of you weren't in here when I used to cover the news. You know what I'm saying? Way back in the day. We've been no.
On January 6th. This is a portrait of presidential inaction. He didn't call the Department of Homeland Security. He didn't call the Pentagon. He didn't call the Justice Department. He didn't call anybody who could help restore order. But it wasn't just inaction. Who did he call? He called Republican senators. He called Rudy Giuliani. He was still trying to overturn the election, even as his supporters were rampaging through the Capitol behind. As Adam Kinzinger put it, this is not a president who failed to act. This is a president who chose not to act.
The question, Dan Abrams, is it criminal action?
Right. And just to follow up on something John said, it's clear that his words mattered. But just as important is he continues to say the same things today. I mean, everything we heard about what Donald Trump has been saying about the stolen election and what the impact it had was continues to be repeated to this day. So as a legal matter, though, I don't think it got you any closer to a possible indictment of the president. Meaning, if they were going to likely indict Donald Trump before this proceeding, that's going to move forward. If they were not, that didn't get you any closer. Why? Because I don't think it provided any more connection with the actual violence itself. But I do think you're continuing to see significant activity with regard to the fake electors. And I do think that the investigation is very hot there and that you may see an indictment, but not necessarily Donald Trump himself.
And that's at the core of the Georgia prosecutions, potential prosecutions as well.
Correct. Well, the Georgia investigation is almost a separate one from the fake electors, which is the investigation into Donald Trump himself. That is a slightly separate question from the fake electors, where you're talking about literally documentation that is being submitted that is saying these are the actual electors from particular states when they weren't the electors. So that's an area where I think that the investigation is very, very active.
Meantime, John, we saw how much threat Mike Pence was under during the January 6th riots, and now it appears at least that both he and former President Trump are gearing up for new presidential runs.
Yeah, and I fully expect, George, that Mike Pence will run for president, even if Donald Trump also runs, putting them head to head. It's been a long time coming. Pence has been so reluctant to utter any words critical of Donald Trump, but that has changed. You know, frankly, I think he missed an opportunity by deciding not to testify before this hearing and making that break decisive. But clearly, those two are on a collision course.
John Carl, Dan Abrams, thanks very much. Hi, everyone.
Dude, that's awesome. Steve Bannon. Oh, Steve Bannon is now trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. Steve Bannon, trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. Steve Bannon. Okay. For the record, Steve Bannon is found guilty of contempt of Congress. That's pretty cool.
News this hour, a jury has just found Steve Bannon guilty on both counts of criminal contempt of Congress. Now, the former Trump strategist
That's a wild
faces
beard,
a
by the way.
mandatory
Wow.
minimum of 30 days in jail.
CNN's Sarah Murray joins us now from the courthouse. Sarah, we're also joined by Ellie Honig and Nick Ackerman here. Sarah, tell us what's just happened in the courtroom.
Well, Steve Bannon has been found guilty on 2 counts of criminal contempt of Congress. He smiled and smirked, my colleague Caitlin Poland says, when the verdict was read. She was in the courtroom as this was happening. So I think we can see this former White House chief strategist is just as defiant as ever. You know, with this conviction, he faces 30 days behind bars at a minimum, as well as potentially thousands of dollars of fines. This is not something that's going to happen immediately, though. The judge has set October 21st as the sentencing date, so it'll still be a few months before we know what sentence is actually going to be handed down. You know, it's also been clear from Bannon's attorneys kind of throughout this trial that they do intend to appeal. And because these are misdemeanor charges, you know, it's very possible that we could see the judge delay any kind of, you know, whether Bannon has to kind of serve any kind of sentence until after they go through that appeals process. We just don't know that yet. What we do know is this is a big boost to the House Select Committee. This is, you know, a reaffirmation of their investigative power, of their subpoena power at a time when they're wrangling with a bunch of different witnesses. You know, Peter Navarro comes to mind. He's another person who defied his subpoena and is poised to go to trial over that. It's also a win for the Justice Department. They've come under a lot of scrutiny, a lot of criticism in terms of how they're investigating the January 6th attack on the Capitol. I think people have wanted to see, you know, more from them in a number of cases. In this case, they got a very prominent conviction.
All right, Sarah, stay with us. I want to go to Nick, just joining the panel. Your reaction to this guilty verdict?
I think it's extremely significant. And the reason really is in light of what happened yesterday in the House hearing. Yeah. What we found there was on that day, on January 6th, Donald Trump was asked repeatedly by people in the White House.
I want to keep it a buck. I'm going to keep it a stack. I'm going to keep it 100. Like, why the fuck is Steve Bannon involved in January 6th? Like, he hasn't been in the fucking administration for like years at this point. I low-key kind of don't understand that. Okay? VOD's not gone. Okay? VOD's not gone. It's just not available right now. I'm going to have to publish it afterwards, okay? Twitch did the little fucking dumb thing that they do sometimes randomly and like stop me from publishing. He was on the hearing yesterday saying exactly what Trump was going to do. No, I mean, the other funny part about this is that like everybody always loves talking about Steve Bannon as this like brilliant tactician, strategist, whatever. But he's so fucking stupid that he was like, oh, he utilized the, oh, I didn't know I couldn't, you know, say no to a congressional subpoena argument, okay, which of course didn't work. He also before this court proceeding started, he was like, "Oh no, I'll actually go. I will appear." And the judge literally told the jury that it doesn't matter if you decide to go now because of your original obstruction. So at the end, he said he would still go. And to that, yeah, it's me, Olivia Rodrigo. Yeah, totally. Yeah. That's a great fucking meme. Failing to respond to a subpoena is literally an ADHD symptom. Interesting to see so-called liberals celebrating this. The thing is, I got our profile pic. Bro, it's not Olivia Rodrigo, man. Y'all are so dumb. Like, it's not. Oh, man. Oh, it is. Only Olivia Rodrigo has access to this photo. And no one else. Y'all are so stupid. High tier goofy shit only at the Hasan Cinematic Universe. I mean, she is a fan, but I don't think she's a 10-month subscriber with like a fake account. So, wants free concert tickets. White people happy. You're so stupid, bro. Stop. No way Andrew Tate gets 100K people on a scam. I think he's going to be doing something more sketchy. No, this is it. Anyway, where the fuck was I before I forget? Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about Tim Pool in a second. But yeah. Oh, Steve Bannon ultimately said, "Oh, no, officer, I did not know you couldn't do that." Except he forgot he looks like Steve Bannon. The only people who can say that to a cop and get away with it, or say that to the law and get away with it, are just like hot white women. And Steve Bannon is the exact opposite of a hot white woman. He's like barely a human to begin with.
Everybody around him, including his family, to get up there and tell his supporters to go home, to stand down, and to leave the Capitol. And what you find here is that who were the people that were egging him on? Who were the people that really pushed this entire, plan of violence? And obviously, Steve Bannon comes to light as the first person on the list. Yeah. I mean, he was in charge of the war room at the Warwick Hotel. This is where all of the people who were really not government employees, Roger Stone, Rudy Giuliani, his chief investigator.
Yeah, these guys suck. Honestly, I don't really care. Here, let's hear it. Let's get an update on my man Brandon's
COVID-19 response coordinator, Dr. Ashish Jha. Dr. Jha, thanks for being with us. So how did the president do overnight? How is he doing this morning?
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me back. I checked in with his team late last night. He was doing fine throughout the evening. Have not had a chance to check in with folks this morning. I'm going to have a conversation with him directly myself this morning. But I can report that as of last night, he was feeling fine. Same symptoms, still quite mild. And he worked all day yesterday, worked through the evening. He, as of about 10 p.m. last night, was feeling just well.
All right, Dr. Jha, and I know you've told everyone and reiterated that the president is vaccinated, he's double boosted, but he is 79 years old. Are there...
Kind of funny how, like, they're just trying to talk about how the likelihood of Brandon dying in the nicest way possible. You know what I mean? Like... He's just like, bro, he's really old, though. Oh, okay. There's a parrot taking pics with hogs right now at the rally. God.
People praising you when we're out here.
Yeah, well, I certainly appreciate everything that...
Bro, they have so much fun, dude. Conservatives, they just like... I mean, they're so nasty and, like, disgusting, and I would never want to be there. But you got to admit, they love having fun. I've never seen a Democratic candidate do a rally where people are having this much fun. Like, look at that. This person's insane, bro. Don't fucking lie. You'd love to be there. Oh, I would love to be there. Yeah, these are my people. Bro, I was just saying, my wife, I wish I was a fucking hog. Their world is so chill. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.